Hey, astral beings. So, I want to talk about the channel, a little bit about some of the things I talk about on the channel, and a little bit about my past and myself. Yeah, on the channel, I talk about some pretty blunt, non really sugar coated things. Kind of like I would call them elephants in the room kind of topics. Okay, that not too many people usually touch on because they can uh, get very emotional for people or trigger people. Um, and to be honest, if my videos do trigger people and trigger some people, I'll be real, and not in a bad or toxic way, but that's a good thing. Like it's a good thing if somebody actually gets triggered by something, because then even if it's not just by me or my video, because then it's showing you something that either a is really important to you in a way, like your feelings are very invested in that kind of whatever it is that's triggering you. You're feeling a certain way. That's kind of like what triggering is in the first place. You're just feeling an overwhelm of emotion, towards something. And yeah, and that can go in many different types of facets as well. And with my videos, I do talk about lots of different things about healing, or like, abuse or narcissism, or, um, toxic traits and things like that. And I'll be honest, like, I've had certain things in my life that I've also needed to heal and work on, and I have healed and I've worked on and overcome. And I'm still healing, and healing is an ongoing process that pretty much is an infinite thing. Like we're constantly always healing. Um Even on a cellular level, like we're constantly always healing no matter what. It's a constant thing. But, I share uh my own experiences, so then I can hopefully help somebody else know how to get out of there, or again, maybe just at least in that moment not feel so alone. So in my own life, um, yeah, I was a people pleaser for a long time in my life. I've always been very caring, loving, forgiving, kind. I give people respect, honor, dignity. Sure, have I made some mistakes and have I messed up? Yeah, I have. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but for the most part in my life, I have really tried to heal, grow, and be a good person. And I was really, especially in the first part of my life, um, just a person of service. Again, I was a people pleaser. And it's not to say I did that out of the fact of, I was kind of molded into that. I mean, sort of I was, but also for the fact that I actually enjoy being there for people. I actually love helping people and, being a human to them, and being kind to them and showing them care and support. I like doing that. That is something that I get happiness and joy and fuzzy, warm feelings when I know that I'm helping somebody that I care about, love, or even just somebody who's in need. Because it's just these are things that um, we all should be doing, and honestly, if we all did, the world would be a lot better, happier place. It really would be if everybody just lent a helping hand to each other. Okay. And I did that so much, and I would get happiness out of it. And I'm a very simple man, so for me to be happy personally, I never really required too much. So a lot of times I would not really even worry about myself because I didn't need much in the first place. But I would worry more about other people because a lot of other people had more needs than me. I'll just be real. A lot of people are a lot more needy and high maintenance than I am. I'm very low maintenance, okay? I run a tight ship, and I have my reasons for that. And I'm very structured. But at the end of the day, like my needs specifically, like for my own personal needs, I'm not very needy. And the things that I do require, in my opinion, are baseline default things. I just don't go with things that are, below baseline. Toxic, bad, harming me or and somebody else or others, like I don't go with that. I keep things as normal, normal or above, that's where my baseline is, which I feel like is perfectly okay. I don't think that's a big deal. But going on, so in my past, you know, I and I'll just say this right now, I'm more in a darker empath type of archetype right now, I will say. It's not to say I'm not loving, it's not to say I'm not caring or supportive or doing all the things that I've told you I am, I'm still like that. But over my years, because I was a people pleaser, uh, I have experienced lots of not so great things. Okay, where people really did the most to take advantage of my love, or they saw my love as a threat, or felt certain ways about it because I was always very loving and happy, or because I'm very loving and happy and positive. I'll be real, that attracts a lot of different types of people or animals or beings because it's a positive, like lighthearted energy. And I mean, dude, in the world we live in, it's pretty dark, pretty, not the greatest most of the time. So it's not very often you run into people that are fuzzy and warm and, want to have an intellectual conversation and, are real with you and are genuine and are not trying to get one over on you kind of thing, like that doesn't happen very often. But for me, I've had people that have been great to me, and we've had great relationships. I still have some very, very old friends and long term relationships that I've had for a long time now. But a lot of the people I've encountered were the other side. Okay. And I granted both both of us, everything happens for a reason. You need to be in certain people's lives for reasons, okay, good or bad. But everything is still for a purpose and a reason for both parties most of the time, okay? And you know, I was always a really great, good person to them, and I would give people grace, chances. I'd be very understanding of, I would understand why certain people did the things that they did, or why, again, like why they were abusive, why they were toxic, why they did this bad behavior. I knew why. I understood it. I got it. I'm a very smart person and I'm very deep and I can understand things very easily. I'm also an empath, so I can put myself in someone's shoes in an instant, okay, and understand. And that's super simple for me. Like, it's not even hard at all. Like, I don't gotta pause to do anything. It just happens literally automatically, okay? It's a second nature thing, like breathing, okay? That's how easy it is for me to, like, feel someone's pain or what they're going through and then understand it, and I won't fully understand it because in some of the scenarios I haven't been in, but I still can because I'm not gonna lie, I've been in a lot of not so great scenarios myself. And so there might even still be something I've even been through or experienced that is similar, and I can even resonate and understand it on that level, okay? Because I've been through a lot of things as well. So I have very well understanding of people. And I would give people this understanding. I would give people this grace. I would give people my forgiveness. I would give chances. Okay? And one of the biggest lessons I had to learn in my life, and we're all on different paths, but one of the biggest lessons I had to learn was that I can't always keep looking at everything with rose-colored glasses on. I can't always look at it with my heart. I can't go off of just my emotions. Even though I love this person, even though I care about this person, even though I would do so much for this person, I had to understand that, even though again I'm a simple man, I had to understand that me giving those chances, being forgiving in those ways, and letting, giving the benefit of the doubt, to like toxic behavior, things that was going on, things that were going on towards me that were not good. Okay, they weren't. I've dealt with a lot of different types of abuse in my life: emotional, mental, spiritual, physical. Okay, I've been through all types of different types of abuse. Okay, I was seriously taken advantage of. Okay, and I never was the person that would just like literally just let it happen. I would always say something. Okay, it's not like I was such a people pleaser that I just would let the abuse go on and then not say anything. No, I'm actually like very blunt, and again, I don't really sugarcoat things. But in my scenario, I believe that probably triggered the person even more to want to abuse me even harder. Because, other people understand this in this type of situation. But in some scenarios, when you're dealing with people that are, very controlling, or they're running games on you, or they want to manipulate, or they want to get one over on you, or they want to be above you in some way, it's like they have to win. Okay, so if they're pinning up whatever they got going on towards you, they want control over you. Okay, well, they're not going to stop until they have control over you. And they're going to do whatever it takes, no matter how hard they got to push, no matter how hard they got to manipulate. If it doesn't work the first time, they're going to do something different, if not more, if not harder. If it doesn't work that time, more. If it doesn't work that time, more. And they'll continue doing it, okay, until they finally have, in their perceived mind, won. Okay? They have gained what they have wanted to gain out of you. Okay? And some, they will be persistent and they will go as hard as they can because they're in their ego. Their ego will not let them not stop. They have to go. Their ego can't take. Maybe they've had multiple other situations where it was easy. They got it no problem. So now in their ego they're thinking, "Oh, I have to get this one." Oh, or maybe in their ego they even thought, "Oh, this would be easy for me to do," and then it wasn't. So then they go harder and harder, okay? So yeah, it's not like I would just not even say anything. Like, I would tell people about it. I would maybe probably even get into an argument or fight with them about it because I would bring up what they were doing and I knew what was going on, and I would just tell it to them straight to their face. No, just like I'm telling you now, okay? Like, literally, blunt, honest, no sugarcoating, all right? That's what I would do, all right? And I'm sure that would piss them off and make them want to do it more. And so, yeah, I would have a lot of people like really push against that, okay? Like my whole life. And yeah, I was very forgiving and I gave chances. And these were people that I loved, okay? I would have done anything for, okay? And I had to learn that doing that is a liability to me. Me doing that, and even though I was trying to have the understanding and love them and be there for them, and I'm a simple man and I didn't need much, and I honestly, I could have just dealt with it. That's what I did. I just dealt with it. I didn't care. I'm a tough guy. I can just deal with that shit. I can. And it's not that big of a deal to me because that's most of that. I dealt with most of that stuff my whole life. I grew up around that type of atmosphere, okay, and that type of people. It was normal to me. It was no big deal to me. But just because I'm tough and I can handle it, it doesn't mean it wasn't doing damage, okay? Internally, energetically, spiritually, okay? To my heart. It doesn't mean it just because I could get past and overcome it, and I got a very tough skin and I can handle a lot, doesn't mean it was fair. Doesn't mean I should have let that happen. You know what I'm saying? So I was betraying myself by overextending myself for people that wouldn't do the same. They wouldn't do the same for me. That's for sure. Okay? Maybe they would have helped me out with some other situations that they could have helped me out with. But when it really mattered, okay? No. They weren't really there. Okay? When it came to trying to give me a fair chance, no, they weren't there. So yeah, I found myself in a lot of unreciprocal relationships, okay? More one-sided relationships. And it wasn't always completely like that. And maybe not even during the whole entire relationship was it like that the whole time. No, maybe at certain points they were giving a good amount of effort, okay? Maybe that's what reeled me in, you know what I'm saying? But I would find myself in more one-sided relationships where I was being taken advantage of, and my love was being taken for granted. My support was being taken for granted. My loyalty was being taken for granted. Okay, and it would put me in not so great situations. You know, to the point where family, friends, and even romantic partners, I'll just be real with you guys. Like, I have literally had multiple people, okay? Probably as many, I don't know exactly how much. I'm not going to count right now. It's kind of late, but pretty much at least almost 10 people, probably more, okay? Trying me, okay? That's not even a joke. That's not even an exaggeration, okay? Get me while I'm down, get me while I'm not feeling well. Most of the situations were already preluded, caused by said people, okay, to get me down to a not so great spot, okay? Or at least they were attempting to do that at the time. And these people, like, really wanted that to happen, okay? Like, again, I've talked about this in other videos before. You know, a lot of people, they may not actually, you know, go do it, but you know, there's other ways to try and push someone, okay, to a point of that, okay? And yeah, my whole livelihood I had put at risk, and I'll take accountability for that. I put my own livelihood at risk by being so loving, being so understanding, being so forgiving. Okay? I did. Maybe something smaller would happen with somebody. I forgive them. It probably shouldn't have been something maybe I should have forgave though. Okay? But it wasn't like super huge yet. I forgive them. I keep in my life. I let in my life. Next thing I know, they're doing more. They're stealing from me. They're cheating on me. They're spreading lies about me behind my back that I find out about. Really bad ones too, made up lies, made up stories, heinous things that don't even make sense. Most of the stuffs are probably confessions, okay, for them. Okay, they're just reversing it, you know, because these are things I couldn't even think of myself half the time. Okay? Stealing from me. I don't know if I said that already. Or just trying to then find another point when I'm at a weaker point to backstab me again. Okay? And that's what would happen.